time has come to engage in preventative action and to move forward and go after stalking more forcefully than we have in the past. It's a truly significant crime that we need to do more about. It is one that creates phenomenal fear and unfortunately seems to be one that is growing in terms of the violence directed at its victims. The American police profession over the last 15 years has truly embraced the concept of community policing. We can't do it alone. We need to partner up with other professionals in the criminal justice system and the hospital system and with the communities themselves and the people that we serve.
It's a constant fear, it's a constant worry. It's being anxious, it's not sleeping. It's sitting in your own house, the place where you should feel the most safe and yet not feel safe at all. For the first time in my life, I was really afraid for my life. At their worst, the hang-ups were over 70 a day. I couldn't get phone calls in, I couldn't make phone calls out. I was constantly looking over my shoulder. I was looking around corners, around trees. You, I think, begin to feel that you have no place to hide. He's always there.
1-4 X-ray and 1019.
5-1-4-10-4. It's a great county. It's got a lot of beauty to it, a lot of history to it. Within just a few minutes of being outside of the major city of Troy, you're in nice farmland with beautiful views. It's a nice place to live.
I'm Derek Pyle. I've been with the Rensselaer County Sheriff's Office for 11 years now. I'm a lieutenant here, and my administrative duties cover problems like domestic violence and stalking.
All right, so I'll see you after the roll call.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
You can't paint a rosy picture of the situation. The average stalking case, according to the 2001 study from Department of Justice, lasts 1.8 years. No law enforcement agency right now can possibly have all of the resources to really satisfy a criminal case. So that's where the task force really comes in handy. Having the multi-agency collaboration and really getting the community stakeholders involved is huge, just to managing the case, managing victim fear, and getting a full context on what the situation is.
The best way to combat stalking, we believe, is to bring people in from multiple disciplines, from law enforcement, from advocacy roles, and actual victims themselves, have them come to the table if they're comfortable doing that and telling their stories and working on solutions to their problems.
I wouldn't expect my officers to have the answer to every question. They don't have to be an expert on stalking. They just need to know that the law is in the book, where to find the book, and more importantly to know that there are experts in particular fields that they can talk with.
Well, stalking and domestic violence just exists in so many instances, and we need to be open to see it. Not being aware of the issue, not being aware of what stalking is or what the law, how the law can be applied, makes it a little more difficult to do the job.
I see a lot of law enforcement here. I would say that probably among you, you've probably got what, about a couple hundred years of law enforcement experience? Maybe 300 years of law enforcement experience in this room? How many stalking charges have we ever made? None of what I'm going to say is to mock you or insult you in any ways at all. It's just the idea that the message has not gotten out. In my opinion, the most dangerous person that you're going to come across is the person that knowingly violates an order of protection. When somebody violates an order of protection, what do we know that we've got already? We've got a stalker. Because we know that there's this behavior over here that has allowed this order of protection to be issued, right? And now we've got something that violated that order of protection. What do we got? We got a course of conduct.
And dealing with stalking, again, is kind of a proactive approach to law enforcement rather than a traditional reactive. So really we're trying to plan what the next step is going to be and head off that stalker before it gets to the next deadly step or violent step.
The New York Anti-Stalking Task Force is a group of people that are committed to work together to combat stalking. The task force has no budget. We do not receive any money. We do not receive any grant funding. Carmen, did you want to start with the new case?
Yeah, I just have this interesting case that I just indicted and it's going to be coming up for trial soon. And I just wanted some feedback from everyone about problems that we might run into in trying to prove this case. Basically, the facts are there's this guy, an older gentleman, who was convicted of sexually abusing his granddaughter, and he went to jail for that. And the judge issued him an order of protection directing him to stay away from that child. Well, he goes off to jail, serves his time, gets out of jail. First place he goes to is back home. They end up arresting him a day or two later. They find him in the area. They got a warrant for his arrest. And he's charged with stalking.
Because it's not like a classic stalking like most people think of, you know, strangers and this happening, you know, within like over a long period of time. You think the jury's going to look at it and be like, well, it's not really stalking.
They would have to be afraid of the sex offender coming back. There's a pattern of behavior overnight, right?
Right. Yeah, 2 days. 2 days are involved.
That's what would be going through their head was, what's this guy going to do? He's back.
I think the reasonable fear part is not that difficult. You know, clearly the child in reasonable fear that something's going to happen to her, and the mother is in reasonable fear that something's going to happen to her child.
The criminal contempt looks solid, and the first based on not only the stalking, but also the menacing. So
If you have a room of 40 people, and these are their careers, they specialize in victim safety or law enforcement, you have enormous collective institutional knowledge within that room.
While he was in state corrections custody...
Within the stalking task force, we have probation, and we have DA, and we have advocates, and we have people from the schools and hospitals. So now the officer, when he's faced with a situation he's not entirely comfortable with, he can now reach out to people that do have the expertise within that narrow band.
Some very good ideas, very good suggestions, and arguments that I can make to the jury. Thank you very much.
Oh, I know.
It's not just another meaningless meeting or group that your boss tells you you have to be a part of. You have to attend these meetings. We all want to be here because we care about stalking, and we know that it's a big problem.
I get a great sense of satisfaction when I come from a meeting like that. Deep down, I feel, well, what I went through was worth it because there have been so many changes within the community.
it's not just an advocate group, nor just a law enforcement group, but it's a cooperative effort of law enforcement and advocates and DA's offices and corrections.
Police officers appreciate this collaboration once they're able to get started. Now they realize that they have resources at their disposal through other agencies and other parties that are willing to help, so that we're not just addressing the actual crime now, we're trying to help the stalking victims with every aspect of how this event is affecting their life.
Stalking is a crime that we know a lot about. It's a crime that we can have great success at dealing with. But I think at this particular juncture, the sense is that it's growing and we really need to refocus our attentions and priorities on dealing with this crime. Good news is that there's no shortage of partners who want to step up. We've got district attorneys who understand the need to address these issues. We've got no shortage of oftentimes not-for-profit groups that are out there that want to get involved. Police can't do it alone. Can we be the one of the trumpeters, basically heralding that more needs to be done? Certainly, and we intend to do that. And we are also saying we want a partner. We need help in this area. And working together, maybe we can have some of the success that we've had in other areas of crime reduction in the country.
My name is Peter DeSena. I'm a lieutenant with the San Jose Police Department, and I'm currently assigned as the unit commander for the Family Violence Unit, located here at the Family Violence Center. We're in the city of San Jose, the capital of Silicon Valley, a city of almost 1 million. Very diverse city, very beautiful city, a city I live in.
The Family Violence Center is truly a collaborative effort between different agencies and different groups in the community, Santa Clara County, the city of San Jose. We on a daily basis meet with the district attorney's office, we collaborate with Child Protective Services, and what's really great is we collaborate with a nonprofit organization, the Next Door Advocate, and then just leave it on your desk.
Yep, I'm always on pager and I'll remain the liaison to San Jose.
We work together on a daily basis, we see each other, we lunch together. I think being in this environment, this collaborative environment, means that the victims get a wider range of services and maybe get served better by being able to plug into these various outlets that are all under this one roof.
If you're going to make it work, you have to do a community effort. Everyone in a community that touches stalking in any way must come together and work together. Take these over and get them put in the computer and work on them. Having a one-stop shop where those victims can come in makes a big difference.
We like to call the Stalking Threat Management Team the Homicide Prevention Unit, because the women that we reach and the stalkers we put in jail, we think really prevents homicides. The advice I really give to police officers is to look for stalking and other misdemeanor crimes in the domestic violence realm. Most of the time it's a restraining order or vandalism or an annoying phone call or just somebody leaving flowers on the doorstep. Once you get that kind of call, ask the right questions, probe a little further, find out how long this has been going on, how long the relationship has been like this. So yeah, she is a protected party. They dig just a little deeper, they might oftentimes find that they have either the start of a stalking crime or actually that meets the elements of stalking itself. Is he still on probation as well?
He's also on probation. I made a copy of the report for probation.
So we probably will get a warrant for stalking because of the continued phone calls, as well as the prior behavior, as well as a credible threat.
Probably a walkthrough warrant by the end of the day.
Yeah, as well as that. So we got him on a bunch of different things. That'd be great. Does she realize how much danger she's in? From this guy?
I don't think so.
We look at stalking cases because, unfortunately, they're a natural end to domestic violence cases. Many times when victims do make that choice to get out of the relationship, to leave and to move on, the person they're trying to leave will not accept it.
Yeah, it started back in 2002 when they got divorced. He started making criminal threats, and then after he actually got arrested.
That constant rejection by the victim saying, I want to get away, I don't want to continue the relationship, is going to get that person to a point, that perpetrator, where they may do something very dangerous or may even kill the victim.
Suspects on parole for stalking the victim, and he got paroled in March, and in April starts calling her, emailing her. At first, she kind of emails him back because he was supposedly a changed man in prison. April, May, he starts calling saying, hey, I need some money, I want money. She's like, no, I'm not giving you money.
But then it's a problem.
Yeah, then all of a sudden he gets threatening. I'm going to kill you, kind of, you'll get yours, that type of stuff.
What I will probably do in this case, because we don't have a lot here on him following her, but certainly we have him maliciously harassing her. There's a felony, 273.6, which is a felony violation of restraining order. Because I think if you want to do these cases and do them well, all of you need to be on a first-name basis. You need to be connected. You need to be discussing these cases on a daily basis. You need to be on the same page.
I guess he's back on methamphetamines too, so probably be high on possession.
That might be the reason for needing money, huh?
357 San Jose. Just confirm you are 1097. Are you?
Suspect has been known to carry guns. He's been violent in the past, so he's what we consider high risk. In this case, because of his history of fighting with the police and trying to flee from the police, we'll have our merge unit, which is basically our SWAT team, actually try to go look for him.
Okay. All right.
All of our cases relating to stalking are referred to our domestic violence advocates, and we have 3 assigned here, Becky, Lupita, and Emily.
Hey, Paul, you have a minute?
Yeah.
I contacted her again because I hadn't heard from her, and basically we spent a little time with her sharing her story.
Of the 400 domestic violence police reports that are filed in San Jose every month, we do make an effort to contact each victim, and we can say, these are the things that are available for you. You might be able to apply for a restraining order. You might want to file a police report so that you have documentation that this person is stalking you. Calling you 200 times a day is not okay. That's stalking. And these are the things that are available to you under the law.
but she's willing to listen to me for 10 minutes, tell her, you know what, looks like you're really at risk, I'm worried about the drugs, it's making it more uncertain.
And then he's upset knowing that he might go back to prison because of the restraining order violation, and then do something that will make him snap.
She's unsafe now. We've sort of decided that, and so it's just letting her know what we're seeing as our concerns, and that basically if he's around, this needs to be brought to someone's attention. And
when I'm working with a client and she needs to find out information about suspect, the good thing about being here is I could go to the officer, to the investigating officer, and ask him questions as far as, you know, if she has a restraining order, has it been served?
Más 29 minutos. One client that we talked to last week specifically, we were able to take care of it for her all in this location. She talked to an advocate. She actually talked to 2 advocates. She saw her detective. She talked to victim witness representative who happened to be here when she was here. So it makes an upsetting, complicated, scary part of someone's life that they should not be having to deal with. It makes it simplified and not so scary.
Community-oriented policing, that used to be kind of a dirty word amongst the police officers. I think we all realize now how important it is to involve the community.
MERGE called me and they picked him up on the warrant.
Oh, good. Good deal. When did they get him?
The fact that these agencies are all in the same building under one roof working together is really important for the additional safety resources that can provide to victims of stalking or domestic violence.
I called the victim today, let her know that he's in custody. And
I look at it as a chain, and every one of us in the system is a link in that chain, and any weak link will cause the whole effort to fail. And this is why we came up with this concept of Family Violence Center, and why it's such a wonderful thing to bring all of these people that work in this area together to talk, to communicate, to assist victims and their families.
One of the great things about the country we live in, America, is the willingness of people to get involved. Indeed, the desire to be involved, the need to be involved. The community policing philosophy that we have embraced for the last 15 years in America is really an extension of that core of being an American. What we're attempting to do in this initiative on stalking is to effectively benefit from that very core of being an American and what works in this country, working together on a problem to reduce and ultimately prevent that problem from coming back.